Jesus began, "Your enemies will come at you in one way, but flee from you in 7 different ways." Deuteronomy 28:7. But be not perturbed or moved, beloved. Again, it bears repeating. Be stout-hearted and firm in your resolve to see all things through, my little one. I know how difficult it has been for you, and I'm releasing the graces you asked for. But do not let the enemy steal them away from you again during moments of weakness, when you give in to how you feel in his suggestions. Yes, Lord, please help me through. I'm also releasing supernatural strength and grace upon you and all my brides to persevere. You can and will do all things through me because I will strengthen you. Be available today for the needs of the little one and your beloved. I've put him down for a reason to slow him down a bit, and it's also a form of protection. Pray for him to respond to the graces I'm giving him now, to lay a better foundation to help him moving forward. This evening I'll give you a surge of energy to sit with me. I won't get much done during our night hour, beloved. Okay, Lord, thank you so much. What's on your heart for your flock? I want to speak on humility and prayer. Come to me, my beloved brides, with your most humble petitions. Nothing is too small, nothing is too personal for us to discuss. There's no need for lengthy words or eloquent speech, but speak to me plainly, or rather mention your desires, your concerns, your worries one by one. I'm also needing your intercession for your nation. You are indeed at a crossroad. I know the passing of that young man, Charlie Kirk, has been on your mind. And as an aside, family, I knew nothing about him until my niece posted in our family group about his death. And immediately one of my siblings rebutted that he was a racist. I was so disappointed that that was her first comment. And before all the young minds of my nieces and nephews who were in the group chat, we had a civil back and forth where I called her higher as a Christian and as a new minister. Then I noticed all the videos popped up in my feed, my social media feed, concerning this young man, and they had many negative things people were saying, especially Christians and pastors. And my heart was broken at what was happening. Jesus continued, all the uproar, criticism, and negative narratives of many is fueling his death to tear the nation apart. It's also exposing the hearts of many. Oh, my people, how I grieve at the state of so many who call themselves my own and the condition of their hearts. There's so much prejudice and real racism in your nation that is ruled by Satan and the media. Both sides are filled with pride, and that is the root of all things, pride. When hurt is not understood, recognized, empathized, and discussed with compassion, it makes one bitter, resentful, and even vengeful and combative. And here the Lord's talking about those who have met with injustice, or the minority or Black community who feel hurt by maybe some of the things that they felt he said, or the sound bites or comments that he made. Yes, I took my servant home. He indeed was my servant, admits what others would like to say. However, he stands with me today seeing the fruit of his legacy, many good and others bad. My beloved brides, I'm raising up many of you to be leaders in my End Times coalition. Many of you will be given a voice of influence to speak the truth, but it must be spoken in love. Pride, hatred, haughtiness because of what you know, and the knowledge you have will get you nowhere. And as an aside, he's not speaking about Charlie Kirk, but many who have a platform to speak, even some street preachers, and when you hear them speaking, it's filled with so much condemnation and sometimes hatred. Jesus continued, my servant was gifted to speak and to influence this generation. But what he missed was that he bruised many. Isaiah 42:3. A bruised reed he will not break, and a thinly burning wick he will not snuff out. In faithfulness he will bring forth justice. And this verse describes the compassion and gentleness. This verse describes, and I want to just share the description that came with the scripture. It says, this verse describes the compassionate and gentle nature of God's servant, Jesus, who offers tenderness to those who are wounded, spiritually weak, and feel broken. It highlights God's desire to heal, strengthen, and give new life to those who are struggling. Knowledge puffs up, but it's charity that edifies. He spoke the truth valiantly, boldly, and courageously, in which I took much delight. But many times to make a statement to the detriment of many broken, hurting, and angry souls. This type of open public stage debate calls for one with these characteristics, but also carrying the Father's heart. One can be easily moved by the cheering of the crowd and praises of men, and miss me in the subtle but most important way. When I preached and answered the most injurious questions set up against me, I spoke the truth boldly, for I knew the hearts of men and their intentions. I was most harsh to the religious leaders because their hearts were very hardened. But to the ignorant, the unbelieving, and even to the angry, I brought conviction and won them over with my demonstrations of love. This soul wonderfully fulfilled his purpose, but he has also taken stock of his life, and now sees and wishes he could have done things a bit differently from heaven's vantage point. I will be sending many of you out as truth tellers, brides of the heart of zeal, endowed with power and truth, but walking in love and mercy in your demonstration and your speech. Again, it will be by your love that they will know you are my disciples. John 13:35. That sinners, the hardened ones, the ignorant, even the angry will convert. Your weapon, heart dwellers, is your love. Let your words be always seasoned with salt, but also love, to prepare the way for me. It is now a turning point in your nation, and the fight will only get more intense and increase as Satan's servants are using this time to cause much division and damage in your nation and in your church. Pray for those who have succumbed to the offense, who have given their hearts and minds over to judge and accuse, and worse, use their platform to sow such divisive seeds of wickedness and hatred, especially those who call themselves by my name. My heart has been grieved as Satan has used this to stir in the hearts of many prejudice and divide. You have leaders and pastors eating right from his hands, as they speak not from my altar, but the altar of bigotry and pride. And I say to you, you have become a stumbling block to me. Why have you scattered my wounded sheep, when you are meant to call them higher, to see their warfare is not color or race or flesh, but of principalities and wickedness in high places, that seek to destroy my church and destroy this nation? But you have been found wanting, because your heart also is not pure, but full of vitriol, which, by the way, guys, is cruel and bitter criticism and darkness, and now it has been exposed. My beloved brides, pray for these ministers and people who have this thinking. They're headed down a very dark path, and many into eternal destruction, because this race war will only get more intense. This storm will only get bigger until there be race riots in this nation worse than has ever been or seen, and all of this is being used to culminate that. My servant was not racist. I alone am worthy to judge and know the intentions and motives of his heart. He could have spoken with more empathy, compassion, and gentleness when he discerned those who approached him angry out of hurt, but he did not always, and for that reason has sound bites, sayings, and clips that live on. But he spoke boldly concerning the errors in America, and if you really listen, was leading many to wake up from the slumber Satan and the deep state had known this nation into. Pray for the young man that killed him. He did not work alone, and he too is hurting, broken by one act of passion that will cost him everything. I desire to redeem him and all those involved. Nothing is never as it seems, my brides. Do not run to the latest news to hear of the truth, but seek out my voice. Seek heaven's perspective, and you will walk in truth every time. This is indeed a turning point, not just for America, but for the world. His death has ignited conversations, self-reflection, awakened some, and has caused many hearts to be exposed for what they truly are. He fulfilled his call and purpose. Although there are a few regrets, he is here to cheer those who will come after him on. My brides, speak my words boldly. Do not cower from the truth when presented with an opportunity to speak, so the weak ones will not be deceived. Be courageous in your faith and meet those who oppose you, who are angered about the truth with love. Speak the truth, but speak it in love. Wow, and that was the end of God's power. And that was the end of Jesus' powerful message to us.